We are live. Hey, what's
Cool.
going on, everybody? I'm Will. It's Friday night tech talk. You got Mike and George. How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. I had a great day. They drove somewhere between 450 and 500 miles. I'm Mobile Geezer. You know where to find me on my Mobile Geezer channel. Website is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. And of course, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Hey there, I'm Mike Dixon, SimplyYourDevice. I am doing great. I was just as I'll put it to repeat what I just said to my brother a few moments ago before going on the show. Mom didn't go to the hospital. She actually stayed out of the hospital for a week. I didn't break any more cars, and so far so good. Everything else is fine.
And your air conditioning is working right now.
Oh yes, the air conditioning. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yes, the air conditioning is working quite well here in 80+ degree Jersey here.
That's why you look like you're in such good condition. Okay.
All right,
Warning.
let's fix that with the sound effects.
Can we? Yeah, warning, folks. He is raring to go. Raring to go. So
Yeah, when I have a day when I get to drive this much, I'm happy.
Oh yeah, you're raring to go. I see 4 waiting. Why I say 4? It looks like we've got a lot of people in the room. Nigel is always the early bird. Let's see who came here first.
So we got Nigel in here. We got Eleanor in here. We got Six in here.
Yes,
we have Alan from Phone Tech at Workers in here. And according to what it says, there's 3 more people who are lurking.
Yeah, we got Mom's here. Serrano, I just saw. Who else? Bad News Brown's here. So
Gary
welcome.
Brown is here. Okay, I see. I haven't seen them. Oh, there.
I haven't seen
okay.
Gary either.
Okay, I see Serrano. I don't see Gary. Oh, yeah, there he is. All right, Gary, I see you. I see. Yes, that's because you're bad news. I didn't see it. I guess.
How you doing, Eleanor? I see you there. I'm so used to typing over here. I got to keep. You know what? Screw it. I'll just deal with this.
Oh, that sounded so Jersey.
I'm trying out the iPad Pro over here, and I had to switch.
Carol's in here.
I had to switch earlier, thanks to George telling me I was quiet.
You're very quiet.
Yeah,
who ever heard of a Jersey guy being quiet? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So,
right, Carol, glad our prayers are working. Keep it up.
Yeah, she's doing good. So she's coming along. I expect her to ballroom dance by September.
There you go. I can ballroom dance.
Yes,
just like you know.
So we had a pretty interesting week, I guess. Some good news, right?
Well, don't sound so excited about it.
It's that time of year where there's that lull before we roll out the late summer, early fall phones. You know what I mean?
It's that time of the year before the Pixel becomes a disappointment. iPhone gives you the same thing they always give you every year.
So you're saying it's not the most wonderful time of the year?
Not at all, George. Not at all. Not at all. Did any of y'all get that email from Google giving you $300 off?
I looked.
I did.
I got them both. I got the error, and then I got the fixed version of it.
Okay.
Yeah, no way, really?
Look at Gary till we stop hating. Nah, yeah, they sent out an email. The first one didn't have the code in it to actually save the money off.
Why, you actually going to buy a Pixel 3 XL now?
It just gave you they sent it. They sent it to everybody. You got them both, right, George?
I got. Yeah, I did. I just not interested. I have my 3A. I'm good.
Did they honor the code though? Did they honor?
They sent the code out. They sent another email. It was like, let's try this again or something. It had the code on the bottom. But it's email specific. Like you can't give it to somebody.
Oh, okay.
It has to come, like you have to click that link and it links to that email.
Got you.
George, Nigel said, did you read the article he sent you on Instagram?
All right, well, I don't have to answer him there. Yes, Nigel, I did get the article. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet. Real busy day, got home very late.
All right. So,
And of course, I'll be up till about 1 or 2 in the morning watching Tour de France. So tomorrow morning I'll get to stuff.
yeah. So I don't know where y'all want to start at. We got about 6 stories, I think, 5 or 6.
I'm just saying, let's start with the one about what people, the common consumer knows about what they or don't know about their phones.
I've got it right in front of me. Who's going to read?
I'm gonna run with the football on this one. This is the one I found that just I was like, are you, I didn't know it was this bad, but
it's bad.
According to survey results published by a refurbisher products site called Declutter, many smartphone users based in the United States don't know very much about their own phones. Declutter's survey polled 2,000 U.S.-based smartphone owners, all the age of over 17. The results present a sobering look at just how little smartphone users seem to care what phone they are using and how it works, or what features does it have. Now, brace yourselves, folks, okay? Probably the most overall surprise result of the survey is that only about half of the respondents were able to correctly identify their current smartphone when shown a promotional image of the phone amongst other phones from the same manufacturer. Diving further into that, it appears that smartphone users with Samsung Galaxy S line devices are much better recognize their phones as compared to Apple iPhone owners. Oh, anyway, and there's a graphic here showing you basically.
I have it up on screen.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, the percentage of owners who are able to identify their own devices. So 44% of XR users, iPhone XR, and then it goes 44 for iPhone 7, 45.90 for iPhone 8, iPhone X 51, then 57% iPhone XS, and then it jumps up to 57.64 for the S7, S8 is 58.43, and the S9 at 71%, which was quite interesting.
So Samsung owners at least know what phone they have generally.
Well, yeah, I just throw them in the Android realm, but sure, I just find that interesting. However, because the Samsung owners are good at identifying which phones they own, doesn't mean they are knowing what their phone does. According to the survey, about 40% of the Samsung Galaxy S owners are completely unaware that their device supports wireless charging.
That's it.
And that's not just S owners. I've shown people with the iPhones that iPhone 8s and the X's, and they did not know about that they had wireless charging. I wish I could catch the picture when I showed one of my coworkers. I have a wireless. No, I don't. I stand corrected. One of my managers has a wireless an Alki Anchor. I turned him on to Anchor wireless stand, and I put it on there, and she was just like blown away. Like that was like the neatest thing she didn't know. All because she forgot her charging cord, and she needed a charge. On the Apple front, only 14% of the iPhone owners know that their phone features an NFC chip, and only little less than half iPhone owners know that their smartphone is water resistant.
That's sad. It's really sad.
It is. It really goes. That's why I wanted to start off with the story, and by personal commentary or our commentary. Excuse me. The most alarming result from the survey is how many people think smartphones supports 5G, 5G connection. About 1/3 of the respondents think that their smartphone can connect to the 5G network, even though it is most certainly cannot. What's worse, of those people saying that their phone is 5G ready, and a whopping 62% say that they've seen noticeable speed increases since using 5G.
Except they don't have a 5G phone.
Yeah, even though
They got that 5GE.
Yeah. I mean, borrowing though from AT&T's part. Come on. But this is what happens when you soak the TV with 5G. I'll stop right here.
Now, of course,
anyway,
looking at the graphic, it looks like now, Mike. I know you and I love T-Mobile, but this graphic shows the dumbest ones at T-Mobile.
Yeah, I was like going, wah wah wah, Yeah. The rest of the declutter survey focused on misconceptions of smartphone users have when it comes to buying refurbished devices, which naturally ties in well with the company's business. You can see the full page survey, which you click there, which I will get this over to the, I'll link this in the show, into the show notes, or here, let me get it over to here. I'll share that. So that is really
eye-opening.
it is, and I said this before. How many people, and you guys got to admit, how many people that you say, do you have a memory card? How many people say, yes, I have a memory card in their phone? Come on, tell the truth.
I don't ask, but I would suspect most people are going to say they do, even though they don't.
Right. Well, yeah, I get that. They think they have it. I would doubt or question them, and kind of like going, I try to coax the phone away, turn up the power down the phone, get a SIM card tray, open. I go, you don't have one. Oh, they point to the SIM card. They point to the SIM card. I said, that's not your memory card. That's your SIM card to make a connection. And all this time they struggle with pictures, or they struggle with memory on stuff. And it's amazing. People don't know what the phone is capable of doing, but yet though they go to the I said this before, I'll say it again. They go to the carrier, and the carrier sells them the best gosh darn phone, the most expensive one, but it's going to have everything, including 5G, which is not really true.
Question, Mike.
Yes.
Who are you seeing on the main screen right now?
Who on the stream?
I'm seeing myself and you guys only in the small boxes.
It's catching up. The whole thing's catching up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing Mike, and then.
Okay. All right. It's okay then. All right. So I wanted to make sure.
Take a moment, guys. Let's check out some of the comments, because I know that I would love to hear some of these people, some of our people.
Nigel said his OnePlus device can connect to 5G.
He always says that. He's so proud of that.
Bravo.
Yeah, Nigel said he's got 5G. Gary said the people aren't too bright. He knows some people like that. Gary also said, so Samsung phones aren't worth the money. I think everybody knows that.
Gary also said, so iPhone users are simple.
Yeah, he did.
He's talking to you.
Yeah, he slipped that in there too.
It's really something, and I always said, I know I'm always repeating myself, but we worry about all the bezels and notches and all this stuff, and look what goes on here. These people don't care about that stuff.
The average consumer doesn't care about that.
Don't care about it. I had a coworker. I was trying to tell her that some of the positives of using like the Walmart app to go shopping with. And she, at the end of the conversation, she goes, the apps just frustrate me at times. I just don't use it. But I just told you what you could do with the app. I just kind of demonstrated it somewhat. And she was like, oh, that's really neat. But the end of the conversation, it was like, oh, I just don't want to do that. I'm like, oh, there's technology there to help you.
Yeah. And it might save you some money too.
Right. I know. I know. I had one person just recently. I'm coming home from mom's. I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts, and she was complaining about the app, and she's still getting notifications for it. And I don't want the app. I don't, can't get this to work. The guy behind the counter at Dunkin' Donuts, this is a Dunkin' Donuts app, goes, yeah, I don't like the app either. I just deleted the app. This is the guy who works for Dunkin' Donuts. You try, come on, promote the app.
You would think it would be part of their training, wouldn't you?
Right.
Well, maybe
So-
they don't want a lot of people to know about the app. The app saves you money.
Will, what's going on with you? I'm kind of catching up here. I see your
Yeah,
hand. I see your forehead.
Oh man, I dropped
we
the.
saw
I dropped
the
thing.
stealing. You know.
I
Yeah.
dropped the phone fell. You know.
Yo, George, remember the early days when we had Will on, and we always had the
Mike,
band?
you're killing me.
That's we're seeing this. We're seeing the ceiling in the walls
Mike
again.
is killing me. But
Oh, and Mike, I did think it was very logical that you had to show them the SIM tray. So you were showing them a very simple thing, and you're simply your device. I like that.
oh man.
Man, folks, a round of applause for that one. Woo! Man, you are rare. You are rare.
I'm a very simple guy.
I tell you. And back to you, Will. By the way, I was off last week. I was out of it, okay? I got a lot of making up to do, brother.
Yeah, you
Okay.
do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah, you had a week off.
Yeah, so I'm raring to go. So, yeah,
All right. So you want to rant some more about what people don't know?
No, I just want to just say what's next. Go ahead, go on to something else. I could be on my soapbox for hours.
You'll be here all day, right?
Yeah, because that just drives me nuts. And I can't say it enough. We all need to go and chip in and help people. We all need to help these people. We could be millionaires, all of us, if we just charge them $5 for an hour, all of us, you know?
I have no desire to be a millionaire. Thank you very much.
George, I'll take your $1 million if you really don't want it. If you don't appreciate it,
just leave me about $350,000 a
I'll
year.
find
You can
something to
have
do
the
with
rest.
your.
I
I'll
just
find
said
something to do with your $1 million.
I just said $5 an hour. You know what I mean, for somebody to show somebody. Man.
Nah,
Will,
Mike, because you know what it is, Mike. The like iPhone people, like you see how it says, what did it say? They didn't know that their phone had wireless charging.
Right.
They didn't know it's water resistant because most people don't care. Most people are kind of smart that way though, because even if your phone is quote unquote water resistant, you know they don't cover it. Just like the other day, Samsung was in the news. What was it, in Australia or somewhere? Because they basically lied in the marketing.
Yeah, they lied. Yeah, about the water resistance.
Yeah, but you know, if your phone gets wet, they still put those indicators in there to tell them you wet it, and they can still say they're not covering the repair, or in like Apple's case, they'll tell you have to use one of your like if you have Apple Care, you have to use one of your incidents of an accident. So it's like they make it water resistant, but they might as well. It's kind of, you know me, Mike. You know me, you'll be happy. I'm siding with OnePlus kind of, because what's the point of getting the designation if you wet the phone anyway and they still don't cover it? So it's kind of like you're kind of paying for something that you don't really have either way.
Right. Now, let me ask you something. I didn't read the story, but what was the story I thought, is it because people were taking these phones in the ocean? And
it's because their advertising, I read it, their advertising was misleading. They were showing people constantly having their phone around the ocean, near the
dropping
ocean,
it in wine and all kind of stuff.
And if you can't put these phones in salt water, it just can't be done. But their advertising was very misleading.
George, you know what though? Salt water should be common sense. That should be common sense, because salt water, you know, that's
you're expecting common sense from people as a whole. I think you're overreaching.
Yeah, because we're talking about the same people who can't figure out what model phone they have.
Exactly, and don't know a SIM card from an SD card.
Right.
But it's different. Like with the iPhone, I don't think they included it in there. I don't remember. But the iPhone, you figure they all look the same. Samsung, it's easier to differentiate and tell what phone you got because they look a little different.
Yeah.
iPhones, you figure the iPhone 10 and the 10s, even the XR, people might say they think they got an iPhone, a regular 10, you know what I mean? Or the 6.
You know what I find interesting?
7s. So
when Mike read the story, he said the iPhone XR, the iPhone X, and the iPhone XS. Now you just said the iPhone 10 and 10s, and then you said XR, and I'm wondering what made you switch. I always say 10
I
everything.
don't know.
So it's just interesting.
I don't know. But I don't like calling it the X, you know.
I like the 10. You know,
10 is better. They should have just called it the iPhone 10.
You know.
And then that's the other thing, like Gary's saying, people use specs to justify their purchase. But most people, if they don't even know that the phone has an NFC chip. I wonder if they don't use Apple Pay at all.
some people may do that, but most people don't even know what the specs are on their phone. You know?
Nah, but I wonder if they're just not using Apple Pay, or if they don't know why Apple Pay works. You know what I mean? Like maybe they don't know Apple Pay's NFC, but they know it has it. Because the only thing Apple uses the NFC chip for is Apple Pay.
Right. And well, let's face it, most phones use the NFC chip for payments, you know.
Yeah, but like Mike says, on Android, you know, you can tap it to, what was that thing, Mike, you were trying to do? Connect your Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, that was with the iPhone.
Yeah, but you couldn't do it because they have the Bluetooth speak. They have the NFC locked down. On Android, you would have been able to tap it.
Right. Yeah. There was another Ergo from CTE, but CNET. I'm sorry.
CNET.
Pertaining to the same thing, and it really went into more depth. I'm trying to bring it up, but it was just somehow people also assume how could you assume that you got 5G? What is it like?
Because you know why, Mike? Because
you don't have a 5G phone, you can't have 5G. People don't realize that yet. And I agree with Will. It's probably part of that crap is because of AT&T's false advertising.
Well, that's part of it, but
and I don't think people even know what 5G is, because AT&T puts it on your thing sometimes because it pops up for me. But all the commercials now, everybody's saying it. 5G. Yes. Everybody's talking about it. So the people
buy a 5G phone to have 5G.
And the people are just going to assume that, everybody must have 5G. You know what I mean? They must be thinking.
You tell all the people we know, you know how you know if you have G? One, if you have a 5G phone, and two, you're going to pay more money a month. Because if you're not doing both of those things, you're not having 5G.
Yeah, it didn't come to you for free.
Exactly. And you're going to pay more per month for a 5G phone.
The people that I know, I don't even think they care. Like, as long as their phone works and they can use Facebook, and I don't think nobody, I don't know anybody who's like, I can't wait to get 5G. Even the people who I know who like phones.
He's got it.
Well, Nigel buys everything. Nigel, I don't know nobody who's like Nigel. I don't know anybody who buys every phone, and I don't know nobody.
Compliment, Nigel.
Yeah, it's definitely a compliment, but I don't know nobody who
he
does
certainly knows more about his phone than almost anybody. That's for sure.
It's only Nigel.
I found that one CNET article. I put it in there in the chat.
All right, go for it.
It talks about it here. See here, and for those who don't, I'm picking up in midstream here. It appears to be a lot of confusion. Some of that is sown by the carriers themselves, just like you were saying there.
Yep.
Look what Gary said. He said the carriers dictate the market. I know a lady who thought she had an LG G8 and it was an LG X Power.
Oh, that's
crazy. Now wait, Mike. I was about to ask you.
I have a Ferrari when I'm driving a Cavalier. Yeah.
I was about to ask y'all. Do y'all think that the people being so uneducated about their phone, is that the carrier's fault, or is it the companies selling the phone? Because everybody knows Apple will stand up there and be like, they'll do their whole presentation and you can watch it. And when you leave the presentation, you still won't know how much RAM is in the phone, you know what I mean?
True,
because Apple doesn't tell you. Apple doesn't care.
Because the carriers will tell you anything, and people in the carrier store will tell you anything.
But is it the carrier's job to push the specs though? Because Apple will go through their whole event and they won't push the specs. Samsung will go up there and tell you all about the specs of the phone.
Yeah, that's true.
But all the carrier wants to do is get you to sign the contract.
Yeah, Apple doesn't care.
So it's kind of like, I think it's more.
Apple knows their audience. They know their consumers.
But if you think about it, George, Android or Samsung, let's say, or Google or whoever, because Google kind of does it like Apple. Samsung kind of knows their audience too, because if you look how OnePlus does it, it's different. OnePlus goes up there and they'll tell you you're getting a 90 hertz display, a pop-up camera, 48 megapixel this, and
you
pixel binning, and they'll tell you all that because they know the people who buy a OnePlus phone care about it. Samsung knows that people care about the screen, the S Pen, what kind of camera stuff it can do. They don't care about if it, you know what I mean? They'll tell you it has wireless charge or whatever, or power share, but the fraction of people that are actually going to use it, you know what I mean? They don't. It's like it's not a thing for them.
Yeah, and get back to what you just
Yeah,
mentioned
look what
too.
Six said. The American audience doesn't care about specs, and it's mostly true because, like, look at Mike's son when he gave him the phone. He was like, "Does it have a headphone jack?" Like
Yeah, exactly.
he wasn't saying how much RAM is in the phone. Is it water?
Yeah.
Like he was like, "Does it have a headphone jack? Can I, is the
Yeah,
battery
but
good?
yeah,
Is it gonna?"
Gary is saying you buy an iPhone for the name, you buy Samsung for the specs to justify the price. That's probably true.
That's an interesting
You
spin
think
there.
I
Yeah,
don't think you buy Samsung for the specs though. I think a lot of people buy Samsung for the gimmicks that the phone has. Like
Well,
Samsung
well,
will come out and
that's
they'll
part
be,
of the specs. That's part of the specs, really.
That's
but
part-
nah, because
Yeah.
Samsung, like 6 gigs of RAM is different than saying you have what's it called, a folding display or the punch hole notch, or you know what I
but
mean.
the fact that like the fact that it connects to your watch, the fact that you can use Samsung Pay, that's part of the specs to me.
But that's a gimmick though, because
No,
That's not a
it doesn't
gimmick.
matter.
That's a
Yeah, but it
feature.
doesn't
That's a
matter.
fe-
It does a
that's a
feature,
feature.
whatever. It
That's
doesn't
a
matter
feature.
if it has. It doesn't matter if it has 10 gigs of RAM, because even the the Samsung S7. Samsung was pushing, the display was vivid and the sides sloped off, and you had edge panels, and they didn't really push like there's 10. It wasn't like OnePlus will go up there and be like, this is the fastest phone you're ever gonna touch, because they're pushing the specs. They don't even when you go to the store, if you go to AT&T, they're showing you the display looks great because they got it under a Samsung TV, and they're showing their video, showing you how good they're not. It's like they don't really push the specs at all. So I don't know anybody who can.
I agree with.
I don't know anybody who can go off and tell me the specs of their phone. I don't. Besides like us, I don't know.
Right. That's the truth. Not the average consumer.
Give me features equal specs.
Yeah, but
Samsung to me features display and build. Yeah,
I
like
agree.
Samsung pushes the
with
display.
Gary Brown. I agree with Gary Brown, but I also agree that though too what the customer is used to seeing, what features that particular phone has, and they go back and again and expect
more.
Yes, more gimmicks.
Build to that list too.
Yeah, you buy a Samsung because it's like jewelry. You remember when Samsung was the S4 S4 when they threw everything at you? They had the air gesture,
everything in that. Yeah,
everything was on that phone.
Yep.
That was crazy. They were, that phone had everything.
Let me say before Nigel explodes, he sent me a message that the Mate 20X, the Huawei Mate 20X, is finally going on sale because it was supposed to be on sale last month in the UK.
Oh, I got mine pre-ordered.
Okay. Did you really? I'm buying it. Anyway, the Mate 20X is about to go on sale in Italy on Amazon and in China for July 26th. So obviously Nigel's getting all excited again.
Yeah, he's I don't know. What are you gonna do with the OnePlus, Nigel? All right, let's get off this one, Mike, because we could stay on this forever. Because
go ahead, go take the football here.
We could talk about what people don't know forever. Let's
Will you take the next one? I'll take the one after that.
All right, I got from Android Central. I think George posted this one, and I read it, and it is like an opinion piece, but it's kind of right. And they were talking about this on the Android Central podcast.
Which one are you doing? You're doing the
Pixel.
Oh, the Pixel. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going all out of order, George. I just got them by the
old man. I understand.
I got them by the tabs on my thing. How they opened up.
Okay.
This one says Google.
Well, you're not on a tablet. Oh,
nah, Android stopped making this. Google's Lumen Pixel 4 disappointment. Can Google continue to pretend the normal rules of phone hardware don't apply? All right, now, I'm not going to read the whole story.
Let me say one thing. This is by Alex Doby. Alex Doby is one of the most knowledgeable people in the world when it comes to phones, so I listened to him. Go ahead.
All right. Basically what he said was, I read it earlier. He was talking about it on the podcast too with Jared. He's saying like Google is acting like they're kind of like the rules.
Give me hits from the article so I can.
All right. All right. It's been okay. Go ahead. It's been 3 years since Google first launched its Pixel series of devices. In that time, despite lackluster sales, the phone's brand has managed to carve out its own niche around quality photography and software purity. There's no denying Google's Android software is more enjoyable to use than anyone else's, which is kind of not true to me. That it's HDR camera.
Tell us why.
Because Google software is good, but OnePlus is better.
Well, that's
OnePlus has better. OnePlus, their launcher is way better than Google's.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, it says the HDR camera is in a league of its own, which is true. But with flagging Pixel sales, it's also evident that the Pixel series as a whole has been far from a resounding success. A big part of the reason why the Pixels have failed to enjoy success beyond a niche audience is that Google seems to have its head in the sand when it comes to what the Pixel line actually is. And this is where George will say that Google doesn't really care about us selling phones.
Oh, I used to say that. That's true. I'm beginning to change my mind.
All right. You can attribute the Pixel's lack of barnstorming success to occasionally sluggish software or ho-hum hardware designs. But in his view, Alex, one of the Pixel brand's most significant weaknesses is Google's stubborn insistence that the normal rules of high-end smartphones don't apply to it. See generic hardware build and no water resistance in 2016, bad screens in 2017, 4 gigs of RAM and single cameras in 2018, and in 2019, only 2 cameras, no fingerprint sensor, and hefty top borders. And they got a picture of the phone there. George has it pulled up.
Yep.
In other words, Google is trying to be Apple, which is true. Now, Cupertino, with its reality distortion field and nearly $1 trillion value, along with its own custom silicon and supply chain dominance, is one of the few players who really do exist outside the norm. Google, however, is for all intents and purposes just another Android phone maker, and with access to largely the same components as everyone else outside of its unique Pixel visual core chip.
You should probably explain what that is.
That's the chip that they put in the Pixel 3 that's supposed to do like the camera processing, which is, I think, why if you have a 3A, it takes longer for your photo to process after you take it. But I don't really think Google did much with it, like Google usually does. They don't really do much with all this great stuff. The obvious counter argument is that regular consumers don't care about specs. You buy a phone for what it does, not numbers on a spec sheet, which I think is true. Yet the Pixel's current weakness go beyond mere figures on a page. Lackluster battery capacity compared to its peers, but the Pixel 3 line is at a disadvantage compared to the Galaxy Note 9s, the Mate 20 Pros on neighboring store shelves in 2018. The dismal multitasking capabilities of the Pixel 3 XL make for easy one-sided comparison videos. And the single camera, however impressive, can't take true telephoto or ultra-wide shots.
True.
Google's assumption that its software secret sauce can counteract rivals' hardware dominance has failed to play out in the market. And it's so frustrating to witness the early stages of such disappointment in the Pixel 4 and 4 XL. As rivals like OnePlus 7 Pro adopt space-age designs, Google insists upon face authentication with chunky forehead bezels. As even Apple looks to adopt triple cameras, Google reportedly will feature only 2, a standard and a telephoto, as if it were 2016. Which is
this one that right here on screen. This only has 2. I thought it had 3.
Some people are saying that third one is not a camera. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'll be talking about this forever. In the parts of the world where you find yourself wearing sunglasses 12 months a year, good luck getting by without fingerprint unlock. I'd love to be proven wrong this October, but the Pixel series seems like something of a hobby project for Google. Even after having gobbled up the remains of HTC, working directly with Foxconn on device manufacturing, and with the benefit of 3.5 generations of experience, I'm still expecting to be at least somewhat let down by the Pixel 4 range later in the year. Here's hoping I'm wrong.
And that's where I gotta agree with him on that. I mean, they brought all these people from HTC who were supposed to be the experts on making a phone, and they come up with basically an enhanced Pixel 3. That's what it sounds like the Pixel 4 is going to be with another camera,
George, they are terrible. I love the Pixels, but come on, a telephoto lens now? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
that's so.
I agree.
I don't even know anybody who really uses the telephoto
Right, because
lens.
everybody loves wide angle.
Probably Nigel, because Nigel had like a 50 times zoom or whatever, spy cam. But
Yeah, but he
most
uses
people,
just
most,
looking at the pictures he sends me in the course of a day, he uses wide angle more.
Of course, Huawei would make that with a 50 times zoom lens, right? So you can look at your neighbor. But yeah, I don't know. I love the Pixels, but this is crazy. If they don't have a wide angle.
Gary's kind of agreeing with you. He said Google is a service company. If Google really wanted to sell the Pixel phone, nobody would have an Android phone but the Pixel. They make too many. They make too much money from Huawei, and they make too much money from Huawei and Samsung. Okay, I'm reading that right. I'm just not getting it.
Yeah, okay. But Android is open source, right? So
yeah,
Google licenses, the software or whatever. They make money from that.
They make money. Oh yeah.
They want the data, which I understand. But why do you, like me and Mike were saying earlier, just give up and let your camera software go to everybody? Like, imagine if the OnePlus 7 had the Pixel's camera. The phone would be the end. That would be the end. Like, Google is crazy. Why would you put out a telephoto lens after the year before you said you had something that was equal to a telephoto with that zoom thing?
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
And here's where I'm starting to agree with you, Will. The smart thing to do would be put the Pixel 4 out on Fuchsia and let nobody else have Fuchsia. But they won't.
Yeah.
It's like Google.
And for those who don't know what Fuchsia is the future operating system for Google that's supposed to replace Android. But I kind of agree with Gil. They should use that for the Pixel phones and nothing else. Then they'd be ahead of everybody.
I was listening to a podcast and I saw Total Tech had Fuchsia running on one of his phones. And they were saying on the podcast that it might not even be on phones. Like, they were like, it might not be what we think it is. It was one of the you got to see it. It's on one of the newest podcasts. They're saying that they don't think that Fuchsia might not be like, it might not replace Android. Like, they might use it for something else. Like,
they've been talking about replacing Android with it for like 3 years now.
I don't know. On the podcast, they were saying it might not be what we think it's going to be. So knowing Google, they're going to keep going with Android, and everybody's going to have a better version than Google's, and the Pixel is going to die. Like
Fuchsia is the future. Fuchsia is the future.
Like Drew said on what's the name, you might not see a Pixel 5 or 6 or whatever, because they can't. I don't care how much money they have. There's nobody who's going to be like, yeah, just keep throwing money down in the hole, because they're not making no money on the phone. There's always an issue. It doesn't matter how good the camera is, and it don't. Just like they said in the podcast, you put out a camera that's that great, and even if only half the people or 25% of the people have the issue where you take a picture and your pictures don't save, or you're listening to a podcast and you open the camera and the audio stops, or those, like, it's embarrassing when you're supposed to be
one of the biggest companies on earth.
And then OnePlus will put out a phone what was it, last year, the 6 came out, or the 6T, for cheaper with more RAM, and the software was way better than the Pixel. The software on OnePlus is that's what Google should be trying to do. So you can customize it, and it's light and it runs. I don't know. What did Alan just pick up, Mike? A Moto for 150?
Yeah, Moto Z4 for 150 just on Verizon. I mean, come on.
That's why Google's losing, because you can get, it's basically a Pixel. It's just a camera. The camera's the only thing you're missing.
Sixto was saying, so-called experts that put a headphone jack on the budget model, but the flagship, they take it away.
Yeah.
And Gary Brown is saying, just shut Android down and let other OEMs do for themselves.
Then the Pixel will sell, maybe. After you trash Apple for taking away the headphone jack, and then you do it.
Well, even OnePlus did that. Remember?
Yeah, they were dumb too, but they did it worse. They had a survey asking people what they like about the phone, and then you take it away.
That's true.
I don't know. They shouldn't even did that. But yeah, Google. I don't know, George. I think they're trying to make money, but it's like they're just all over the place. How, like, it's not like they don't know what's coming. They know Samsung is doing a punch hole.
They know what's coming
or
before
OnePlus is
anybody else because
they
those
know.
manufacturers have to work with them.
They know that, and they got to make the software to it.
Exactly.
Think about how crazy that is. They were like, yeah, we're gonna make software that's gonna adapt to notches on the side and holes and all this stuff. And you still put out a phone that looks like that. Like, you know, your competitors are gonna come with something crazy, and you still do that.
To me, this year is the worst year because they're putting out a phone that's an exact copy of an Apple phone. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but George, look at the Pixel 1. It was almost like an Apple phone. Huge bezels on the top and bottom. It was square.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It looked like an iPhone.
This year just topped it all.
It looked like an iPhone, and then they're taking away the fingerprint sensor most likely and giving you face unlock, which was on Android for how many years? Like,
for a long time. Yeah.
Why are you just catching up? It's
Big House is saying, I want that Moto Z4 deal too. I just don't want Verizon $70 plan. I'm down with him on that.
Yeah, well, because that's where they're going to get.
Nah, they said that everybody in the Telegram room was like, you can buy the phone, I guess, and pay it, and then you cancel within 3 days or something, and you don't get charged new activation. And I don't know.
Really?
I don't know how it works. Yeah.
Why? Well, you should be the test case.
Yeah.
I don't like. Mike's gonna do it because Mike loves Motorola.
Yeah. Don't do that to me. No.
Yeah, I mean, and like Google, what if, let's say they're probably not. I hope they don't. I hope they don't put out a watch. And Mike had an article about it in here later. I hope they don't put out a watch, but it's like, what do they have left to even try at this point?
Oh wait, we got a future story coming up on that.
Yeah. But what's the point? Like, okay, you got a Pixel 3 or 3A. What's making you get a 4? Because of the telephoto?
No, the 3A is gonna, that's gonna make sure I don't get a Pixel phone because to me, you can't top this phone.
Or the what's that thing called? The like now their big thing is supposed to be, I'm guessing they're going to add RAM because the Pixel's supposed to be able to do on-device Google Assistant, so it's faster. So I guess they're going to add RAM. Like, how the Pixel does? They're going to put the feature out and be like, it's exclusive to the Pixel 4, and then in November, everybody else is going to get the update. So Google should just hang it up.
Just for me, the 3A for $400, I'm not going to go spend $1,000 for a Pixel 4. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm done. Mike, what are your thoughts on the? I know you don't. I know Mike don't care about a Pixel because Mike the camera. Yeah. Listen, George. Mike said the camera's pretty much the same, which they're close. But to me, I like the colors on the Pixel more, so I think it edges the OnePlus. But I know what Mike's saying. Like, what's the point?
Yeah,
OnePlus is updating their phone.
The whole color thing is a very subjective thing. I mean, I think the colors on the Nokia 9 are better than the colors on any phone because they're more realistic to me.
But if you take your Pixel 3A, the one that you have, George, and you took a Moto phone, you took a Nokia phone, you do your camera comparisons. We all struggle. We all kind of have our own views of saying this is a great picture versus that a great picture. And all this started with the OnePlus 6. From that day forward, OnePlus is killing it as far as, heck, if you have MKBHD actually say, I'm putting down my Pixel for over a OnePlus, and to this day, I believe he's using a OnePlus. I mean, he's got an Apple phone and a OnePlus in his pocket for the most part. Google's in trouble.
Yeah.
So
Google wants to sell phones, but the problem is they're not Apple. Like he said, they think they're Apple. They think that Apple can get by with making the phone look ugly because no matter how many people complain, they know if they want iMessage or they want their phone to integrate with their Apple Watch that they spent $400 or $500 on, or if they want it to go with their MacBook that they might have spent $1,400, $1,500 on, you have to buy an iPhone. On Android, there's so many choices. And now, look, Xiaomi makes phones that run stock and get updates. You know what I mean? There's so many choices that you don't have to buy a Pixel. Mm-hmm. So they can't afford to put out an ugly phone. They can't.
Well, like you and I said, they come out with the phone and then a month or two later, the features that, half or quarter of the features that everybody else is going to get it.
And that's why he's saying that it's like they think they're Apple, but they don't have the advantage because there's nothing on and Android is open. So look, you can get the Pixel Cam for your OnePlus or for your, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, but it's like Alex
they have
said
no
in the
advantage.
article, they always depend on the camera putting them over the top. Well, that's not going to cut it anymore. You know, not with OnePlus.
Honestly,
cameras as good as they are, and Nokia, you know, picture-wise, how do you beat a Nokia 9? You know.
the camera's been, to me, the first year, the cameras were the thing that made that phone great. After that, when everybody came with wide angle and telephoto and they still had one camera, it was like, yeah, their pictures might be better on a still shot, but there's no versatility in the camera.
Right.
You know, you can't do a wide angle. You can't zoom good. The video was terrible. So it was only that 1 year that they had an advantage, and it's like they were
the video
stubborn.
is better, but the video is no better than OnePlus's video. You know, the video.
Yeah, it's like a regular, you know,
video. You know,
they're not on Apple's level with video. There's not even 4K at 60.
Yeah,
they're not on Apple. You know, so it was like the 1 year when they should have. The next year when they came out with the phone again and they had water resistance, and I think they had water resistance and dual speakers on the front. They should have put 2 cameras, or it was like they were.
Was the phone? Yeah, that helped, you know, but they
were crazy
all the way. Yeah.
How can you even go backwards? You come out with the Nexus 6 had dual speakers, then the 6P had dual speakers. Why would you even go back to making a phone without?
Well, then they take away the headphone jack on the Pixel 3, but they put it back on the 3A, which is a whole lot cheaper. I mean,
and they're saying that the 4 is only having speakers at the bottom. So it's like Google is crazy. Google is really crazy. Well, just wait till Black Friday. It'll be $300 off.
Yeah, right.
They'll be begging people to buy it.
Wait a minute, then you get that accidental coupon for, you know, buy one get one free. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the accidental. The oops coupon.
The brothers should get it for free. Oh,
the oops coupon, right, Mike?
Yeah,
the one they didn't mean to send it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Google's I don't know. Google did worse than Apple. Why even put out the 3A now? Just wait. Like Apple, when they did the AirPods, at least they were selling. But why even put out the 3A knowing that your phone is coming out in a couple months? That's crazy.
But the 3A sold. You got to give them.
Yeah, the 3A sold, but now you just killed your 4.
That's what I think too.
Like you killed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you killed the 4. There's nothing
out with the 4, and the iPhone is coming out right behind it. I've got a Pixel 3A. Get which one of those 2 phones I'm going to end up getting. You know?
The iPhone's coming out, and Samsung is coming out. You know, those Samsung is the, you know.
Yeah, that's coming out.
August. Samsung, August like 8th or 9th, something.
Yeah, it's less than a month.
August 7th, I think it is.
Yeah, Samsung is coming out, and then you're going to come out at the end. And now the chip is old. You know what I mean? Because Samsung is coming out in January with the new chip, or it's. Google is disappointing, man. Forbes is in here. What's going on, Forbes?
Oh, wait a minute. Forbes is in here? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then I have to do this, don't I? Aren't I required to do this?
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
No. He's going to leave. He's going to leave.
Okay. Now, wait. Gary Brown said the Pixel 4 and Pixel 3A people are different, which is true because the Pixel 3A people want a cheaper phone. But what is the Pixel 4? And
us 3A people have a cheaper phone with a great camera, just as
because
Pixel.
That's the selling point of the Pixel, and it's got a better battery.
And wait a minute, and it took them all this time to get it out of Verizon and get it into another carrier.
At least they did get it in.
You know what I mean?
Oh God, Mike is crazy.
That's good.
But yeah, like the Pixel 4 isn't gonna have no crazy thing that's gonna. I don't know. I can't imagine. I'll wait and see. But Google was, they're trying to hype it up already, saying, "Wait till you see what the camera can do."
Come on, Will. Even you are not. Even you are considering the OnePlus is the phone to have, at least for Android.
Yeah, but now remember tonight, folks. Tonight is July 12th. the first one to buy a Pixel phone. Come on.
Because I don't know why I do it. I guess I just got too much hope for Google.
You're addicted, brother.
I got too much hope for Google, that's all. Because ever since forever, I've always said I wanted Google to give me a phone that was consistent like the iPhone. So I buy them every time, but
might as well face it, you're addicted.
What?
And yes.
What'd she say? She went over to the dark side.
No. You're on the dark side. What's that?
Oh yeah, I am.
And tell everybody what you're using right now for this video.
I got the what's this phone called, Mike? The OnePlus 7 Pro.
And I told him before the podcast started, before the stream started, that the picture looks absolutely spectacular.
It really is.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm waiting for the camera. I'm waiting for the camera warning light to come on and tell me that the camera's too hot or something. But we'll see.
God.
Because it's got to pop out the thing, you know. It does give you like a warning, I think, if you pop it up and down too fast.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does. I think if I remember right. I think I see it.
This phone will give you a heat warning fast. That's the Nokia 9 PureView.
Well, look at all them.
Is that? I was at it in the sun shooting some stuff with it, and a couple of times it gave me warnings about the heat of the phone.
Really? The heat of the phone will set off a warning for you?
Yeah, but because it was out in the sun so much, and I was using the camera for a long time, shooting video.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
Well, Mike, I don't know if you remember last year the Note 9. I think even Forbes had an issue where his kept overheating. I know it was hot, but I think his kept overheating when he was recording video.
That's right. He mentioned that. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, San Antonio is warm.
Yeah, it's hot, but yeah. All right, you want to go to the next story, Mike?
Which one?
I don't care.
Do you want to?
I think I closed one of them by accident. I got 3 more open, but I think there's an extra one.
We've got one for Wear OS. We've got one for the new cell carrier. Can I take the one with the new cell carrier?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can get that up.
Uh-oh, Mike. I see Pat's been playing with an Apple. She called it a tablet, an Apple iPad. we got to correct her. It's an Apple iPad.
Yep.
All right.
We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
All right. So this is the latest. I think it's still a rumor. Google and Dish would be planning to form a mobile carrier, but Google denies the report. The Sprint T-Mobile merger still has potential to materialize, and it seems like we're in a holding pattern at the moment, waiting to see if it will be able to carve portions of its spectrum holdings off to another buyer to maintain the presence of a 4th national carrier. This is a big deal to the Congress. Satellite TV provider Dish looks to be the most apparent buyer in the market, but has notoriously been negligent to spend any money building a cellular network, perhaps holding lost hopes of being able to sell its portfolio to other carriers. Now faced with the crisis of opportunity, the New York Post reports that Dish has been in talks with a board member of Alphabet, parent company of Google, to finally strike up a new carrier. Sources have identified the Alphabet director as Alan Mulally, a former CEO of Ford who was credited with helping the automaker survive the Great Recession. The envisioned outcome is that Dish, with its license assets, and Google, with its managerial experience from running its own MVNO, will jointly run a network that would include spectrum that Sprint and T-Mobile would give up as a condition to get approval from the Department of Justice for their merger. For its part, Google has denied any direct talks with Dish on this matter, but did not comment on whether Mulally was communicating with Dish. So I think that says a lot that they deny any direct talks with Dish, but they didn't say that their guy wasn't talking to them. So T-Mobile would supposedly have concerns about competing with Google if it decided to sell its licenses and some of its networking equipment to Dish, its parent company, Its parent company, Dutch Telecom, Dutch Telecom, demanded that Dish not sell more than 5% stake in itself to a third party as a condition for the sale. though it has since backed off this stipulation. And Deutsche Telekom is a German-owned company, but they own T-Mobile.
Right.
T-Mobile? Yeah, they own T-Mobile.
Yeah, they own T-Mobile.
The Japanese company owns Sprint. Google's MVNO, Google Fi, utilizes Sprint's, T-Mobile's, and U.S. Cellular cell networks. By hooking up with Dish, Google Fi could turn into a standalone carrier within 3 years, market watchers say. These watchers have also told the Post that they feel the feds would not be terribly concerned if Google were to run a national network. We don't know, though, when Google's network lease agreement with Sprint and T-Mobile will have to be renewed. So there is some potential that Fi may become a theater of war in the intervening time. Of course, this is predicated on T-Mobile agreeing to sell spectrum to Dish in the first place. Post sources say that the contract is about halfway there and could be finalized in a few weeks. So now you've got this up in the air T-Mobile Sprint merger, and this sounds like you've got this up in the air whether or not T-Mobile wants to sell this stuff to Dish. Seems to me there's an awful lot of stuff just kind of floating around out there.
A lot of moving parts going on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it seems like a lot of lawmakers want a fourth carrier, and the only way they're going to approve it. But at the same time, does T-Mobile want that fourth carrier to now be in direct competition with them and banging on them the same way AT&T does? That doesn't make sense.
I'm surprised that when did Alan Mulally join Alphabet?
I didn't know that, but you're a car guy, so you would know him.
I'm like, he's like one of my heroes. I mean, he really kept that company together. And then I don't know, just let you know, this guy Allen fella, he came from Boeing airplane manufacturer. So this guy knows his stuff.
Well, I'm glad he's now at Boeing right now. He'd be in serious trouble.
Oh, it would be right. He needs to go back to Boeing. But to have him at the helm, maybe involved with this would be a really interesting thing that could come out of that. I think it's here again another opportunity. Google gets to do this. If he's as smart
as you say he is, they need to put him in charge of the Pixel. Seems to me.
I agree. Yeah, I didn't know he was a director. That'd be really neat if Project Fi moved out of the shadows of the dark space, because nobody knows what Google Fi is. Yeah, nobody know. You know what I mean? So to have that,
I don't touch Project Fi because I'm too happy with T-Mobile. I'm not moving on something that I'm perfectly happy with. That's how I feel.
But George, don't you think? And I'm just asking your opinion. Don't you think we should have a fourth carrier? Or do you think just having the three is enough of a choice for consumers?
Here's how I look at it. And let me kill this story up here first. Here's how I look at it. If we lived in a world where businessmen were honest, three carriers would be fine with me. But we don't live in a world where businessmen were honest. So yeah, I kind of agree we need to have a fourth carrier.
Right.
I hate to agree with politicians, but I am.
Right. I mean, I think that more choices for people is a good thing, and it keeps. Well, a good example is what T-Mobile and John Rozier did with T-Mobile. He basically put them on notice, saying, "Listen up, you guys are ripping off the public. You got to change because you know what? I'll change it."
And he forced it to change.
Yeah, he changed single-handedly, changed the market.
Yeah,
to what we have now.
He made Verizon and AT&T go along with him. So having a fourth carrier and Google behind it, that's going to be huge, and that would be great. And then also the opportunity to have some form of TV, because it seems like this is the pairing. Your phone service and your internet / Now
TV.
Question: who does AT&T own, Will? What?
DirecTV.
DirecTV.
I'm confused.
Time Warner, isn't it Warner or something?
Yeah, Time Warner. Yeah, you're right.
No, Dish is independently.
So they got HBO and all those. I think Dish is not doing good, right? I don't think they're doing good. I think that's why.
Doing so well, you know. But you know how well can the other one be doing either? Because AT&T just keeps trying to shove it down everybody's throat. Right? Isn't that true?
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Mike used Fi for a little bit. Fi is good. I'm talking to Gary about it in the chat. Fi is good and it works well for me because you get to jump between the networks and all that, and
You don't
it's
think
seamless.
it's too expensive? To me, it seems
That's the thing. It's expensive, depends on. But you know what, George? It depends what you're paying now, because I think Fi tops out at $80, and the
okay.
data is good. You can control everything right from the app, and if you
How
don't
many
use,
phones does it top out at $80?
that's one phone.
That's one phone.
That's
Okay.
the most.
but
No, but I'm
doesn't-
saying,
doesn't that
for
change?
one
$80
for
with
1
some
month.
I can run 3 phones.
No, but listen, for 1 month, that's the most you'll pay for the one phone with no, with the data.
I'm not paying $80 for one
Yeah,
phone.
but wait, George, hold on. I know it's not good for you, but I'm saying, depending on what you're paying and your circumstances, it might not be that bad, because if you don't use all the data, your bill adjusts. So if 1 month you use 40 gigs, you'll pay $40 plus the 20, you'll pay 60. But if 1 month you only use 3 gigs, you'll pay, you know what I mean? Your bill changes. And if you go over, the highest your bill will be is $80. So for some people, I mean, it works out all right. For me, the service is fine. I like being able to do everything from the app. They give you decent, I guess it's decent rates on like international calling. I think international texting is free. And if you travel, I don't think you really can beat it if you travel, because it connects over there. So
But is it better?
It's all right.
Is it better? Most people, when they travel overseas, they just get a local SIM from somewhere. Is it cheaper than that?
I guess it depends on where you go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I heard a lot of YouTubers talk about it and about Project Fi and how much it saved their butts. It just in general, just the ease of it. Juan Bagnell, no, not Juan Bagnell. What's the other gentleman? Oh God, the other one from Bagnell.
TK. Oh, you mean Jaime Rivera?
Yeah, he loves it. He uses that service. He talks about it, how easy it is. Just that he doesn't have to change nothing. There's no.
You don't do anything. You don't do anything.
It just seems,
a lot. He travels way more than all of them.
Right. So for somebody like him, it's ultra perfect. But getting back to Will, though, I thought they have like family plans too, don't they?
They do. They have family plans, yeah. But the thing is, you don't have to do no changing of nothing, and I don't know. It's like it's seamless, because you leave the country and it just works. Like you don't have to do nothing. It just once you leave, it'll tell you like depending on where you go. I think it sends you like a text message, and it'll be like 5 services is active here or whatever, and that's it. Like you just use your phone. So
what that says to me, that there are some countries you're going in that won't be active then, I would expect.
I think so. But I guess for most of the places, I guess they got pretty good service. It's nice. I mean, it's nice.
I know Jaime Rivera's been in Japan last week. He was in France. He was in Barcelona. So he's been all over,
Yeah, I wish they would have made it a little bit cheaper though, because it is kind of high, like you were saying, for the data. But,
yeah, I think it is.
But see, George, you probably got like all kind of discounts on T-Mobile. You know what I mean? So it's not for really. Everybody.
I have 4 phones for 4 lines for $120 a month, basically.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the one, Gary. I don't know if you have a tablet or an iPad, or because you can add like 6 data only SIMs to your Fi plan, and you don't. I think they're like I think they're free or something. I think it's free, so you can have data on your tablet. You know what I mean, with your Fi service, which is free. Where you would think it's like $20 if you get a tablet on AT&T or.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
No. I'm looking at an email that just came in. My computer notified me. YT support. We've received a complaint that there are many spam videos on your channel. I mean, they're still sending this crap out. These people that are spamming this stuff.
Yeah, because one of the podcast things, that's what they were saying. The guy was like, we have 6 tablets with 5 SIMs in them,
and they're all free.
Yeah, Pretty cool. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good. Hopefully they bring the price down or do something more, make
Yeah,
it more, make it more
I think it would
available.
be a lot better, a lot more
Because
competitive.
that's the one thing. The one thing I liked about it was that you switch networks. So like if you're somewhere where you might not have got service at, you might jump on Sprint, and Sprint's network will be good. You'll get service. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. Yeah.
they
And
don't have a.
T-Mobile. You got.
But you
Sprint,
have to have
US
you have to have a Pixel or one of those phones that they sell on their site to do that. Otherwise, you stay on T-Mobile.
Right.
So
But the biggest thing with this whole thing with T-Mobile, I mean, Fi and the Dish thing is that there was some kind of about spectrum they were trying to hammer out, like to buy some of it, or they are leasing spectrum.
And I can see his point about whether or not T-Mobile's willing to give up spectrum, because the biggest reason that T-Mobile wants Sprint in the first place, because Sprint has all this spectrum that they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they want to hold on as much as they can. I saw another article when it
they
really
get a
broke
hold
it
of
down
that
more.
Sprint spectrum, they're going to have coverage in the country, probably like Verizon. You know.
but weren't they? Isn't this? Trying to remember. I know the other thing was a part of it. Like them giving up the spectrum, isn't that trying to help them make the deal?
Yes, yeah, and that's why.
So
that's
if they
a hard choice for them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, this
But
thing,
yeah, Mike, I think
this
we
was going to be done last year, and it just keeps hanging around and hanging around. You know?
Yeah.
I think Mike, we do need another carrier though.
I gotta agree, because you can't trust these people. You know, as much as I like T-Mobile, I you know,
it would definitely though keep them. You know, I mean, one carrier is going to come out with a deal that it's going to trump all of them, and then in turn they're going to counteract. So in the end,
but
that's what T-Mobile did to
Mike.
AT&T.
You think that's still? I don't. T-Mobile did it before. T-Mobile did it before. I think now, I don't think nobody's is in the position where they have to do it anymore.
But the reason
T-Mobile merges, I think if T-Mobile, if T-Mobile merges, it's going to make it worse. Like they're going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be less chance for somebody to come with that kind of an amazing deal.
That's what a lot of people think. That's what a lot of the
because look, Mike, look now, look, you got Visible, what's it called? Visible Wireless or whatever. Mm-hmm. You got Simple Mobile, where you can just jump on one of those and you get good enough service and your plan is cheap.
Again, does the public know about them? Does the public know about all these carriers you're talking about?
No.
Right. Again,
because
and wait a minute. We also have to deal with 5G in the end of this, because 5G is eventually going to be coming too. So we need 4 carriers, because one carrier is going to try to gouge you know what out of you, saying, "Oh, we got the best service, and we're going to charge this price." So the 4th carrier comes out with some kind of sweet deal, and like I said, there's going to be something where eventually it's all the big thing is going to happen is a tie-in between TV, cellular, and your home internet. And we know they're cutting the cord is the big thing, so they're going to try and coax that in there.
But Mike, that's already there. But it's just not. I guess it's not everywhere. Because look at Mike. Listen. Mike, listen. There's more room. But Comcast already has it. I can go get Xfinity Mobile, and I'll pay $40. Their phone thing is limited and all that. But if you go to, I don't know if you've been, you don't have Xfinity. If you go to the Xfinity store in Turnersville, they have it set up like a cell phone store. You can buy iPads, Samsung Galaxies, and it's all connected. And your phone bill is $45 a month, and they're using Verizon's service.
Yes, I know they're using Verizon service, and
I think Tana put out a couple videos on it.
You're limited. I'm telling you, you're limited on how much data you can use.
Everybody limits you. They all do it.
No.
Verizon
has always done that way worse than anybody else.
Look. Verizon, what's the name? What's it called? One of my friends has Verizon. It's called like Verizon More or something. He pays more for it, but they don't cap him until he's at like 75 gigs. I don't know what.
He's paying more for it. They shouldn't be capping him, period, no matter what he does.
Well,
they gotta cap you, even your home internet caps you if you use too much data.
Well, I don't.
Well,
That's why that's why that Stadia thing is going to be a problem. And Google, I think there was an article.
Right.
Google was like, we think that the ISPs are going to ease back on the right.
What can I do?
No, they're not. They're just going to charge you more. You're going to have to pay for it. Yeah, it's like 22 gigs. But everybody does it. But for $45 a month to be able to have not unlimited, but close enough, you might as well, you know what I mean, stick with Xfinity.
But I think Mike is right in that having a company come up with that special deal that puts pressure on everybody else with 5G. I think that you know,
5G is going to be it.
Well, let me bring us back around to was it last week? What did you guys think about the dangers of 5G from those stories we did? Because I'm thinking this may be some serious stuff. What'd you guys think?
I don't know,
George. Honestly, I mean, it sounds crazy and all that, and maybe it is. I'm not worried about it because I'm not gonna have no 5G phone no time soon.
Yeah, and me neither. But it sounds to me like this is going to be the typical thing where 25 years after somebody has 5G, all of a sudden cancer starts spreading like crazy all over the place. That's what it sounds like is going to happen. So to me, that's pretty serious stuff. Because when you get this kind of stuff, and we've seen it in the past, and we've seen it in New Jersey in the past, because you guys probably don't remember, but in the early 70s, they had a big problem in a big chunk of Jersey, mostly middle and south and west Jersey, where there was a lot of cancer in the water, and all of a sudden, a lot of people started getting cancer. Well, turns out that had gone back 20 years because the cancer was in the water all that long.
Well,
They finally got it cleaned up. But I mean, people were dying by thousands in Jersey because of that water. And turns out they were getting cancer 20 years down the road.
Well, it's called Lipari landfill. That was our cancer, okay? I don't know if you know where Lipari is.
But I'm serious. This really happened. And thousands of people did die from cancer because of it. Well, it turns out it went back to the water.
Wasn't that the thing they made the movie about? Aaron Brockovich?
Oh, I never watched them. I can't stand her.
Yep.
So
It was something like that. The same kind of thing. The people were all getting sick, and they were kind of covered up.
But that really did happen.
But
it was a true story, George. It was a true story.
That same thing all over again, and nobody seems to give a crap. You know,
because everybody wants faster speed, George. As long as my phone runs fast.
Okay,
I don't mind
Wait a minute. Why we argue this point? Because most people, the average consumer, think they got 5G now. So why would
they have 5G already?
You know, all you gotta do is send them to you. Oh, you don't have cancer. You don't have 5G.
Yeah, you don't have 5G. But in the beginning, when cell phones were coming out, weren't there concerns about putting?
Yeah, there were concerns, but it sounds to me like from the stories we did that there's much more proof. It's scientific proof. It seems to me. I could be wrong. You know, I'm just saying. It seems to me it ought to be a concern, more concern than we're hearing.
Listen, Nigel has 5G, so he'll be the variable,
right?
I don't get why
Listen, Apple's not going to have 5G for a long time, so we'll see when the Apple users, when y'all are like, Apple people are simple. When we don't got, we're all right. Y'all with Samsung and everybody wanted to be first to 5G.
Well, my iPhone 8 Plus has 5G. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the connection's been great.
Oh man.
And but you probably think you have an SD card too. So
yeah, I do. But wait a minute. How does a country like England and where Nigel is, that he has a working 5G cell phone? I mean, is he really got 5G, or is he getting like the AT&T treatment?
I believe he's in Sheffield, and I believe
I think he has 5G.
I think Sheffield got 5G this month. London had it first, of course, but I guess Sheffield's a pretty big city too, and I believe this month they got 5G. I don't know.
That's just nuts.
That's right, Gary. Apple people are.
I think Nigel may have 2 5G phones already.
Apple people won't get cancer. Oh man!
What's he saying? They're too dumb to get cancer?
We're too simple because we're never going to have 5G on our phone.
Man.
Serrano said 5G's in Chicago.
It's also in Dallas.
Well, we'll see when the reports start coming out, I guess. But
yeah, because you know where 5G will work places that are flat. If there are mountains around, you're not going to see no 5G.
Yeah.
You certainly aren't going to see any here in Chattanooga because there's mountains all around us.
I don't know.
I just want to give a shout out. My brother Adam's in the room. He's checking out the stream.
I'm good with my 4G.
Yo, Adam.
And Big House Productions
Adam,
is in the
Will and
room
I
too.
need some kind of you need to put together a video course for Will and I using OBG.
OBG.
We've only got a few weeks left to get this done.
Adam, I got OBG working a little bit, but
yeah. All right. Hey, I'm old. Deal with it.
It's all right.
Nah, but
I would have done the same thing.
My problem is I can't figure out how to get people to join the how to invite people into the stream or whatever.
Yesterday. I got one person to join. Now I got to figure out how to get two people to join.
But all right, what's the next story?
All right, next one is on you, Will.
Where are we going? Snapdragon. Mike, I'll let you do that one for the watch.
Okay.
All right, let's do this one.
So make sure you watch yourself, Mike.
All right. PSA, Google Messages Beta 4.7 crashes immediately on startup. And then they did update the article because they finally fixed it. Google Messages just got an official beta program last week. No updates were delivered right off the bat. Today, Google Messages 4.7 has been released to beta testers, but you should avoid installing it because it crashes on startup. If you signed up for the Google Messages beta last week, an update should have hit your device sometime in the past few hours, and this was from the 12th. Sometime in the last few hours via Google Play. The update brought the... well, I guess this was... I don't know. This was from... I don't know when they originally wrote it. The update brought the app to version 4.7, and it was the first update to roll out as a part of the new beta track. And then they posted the update to the article on the 12th, which was today. Google started rolling out 4.7052 to beta users, and it fixes the issue where it crashes. And they confirmed that it does work. But the article goes on to say they noticed on their own devices and received a tip from users internationally that this update causes the app to crash immediately on startup, and it happened to me too.
And I did. It's in here. Yeah.
I had to go back to the OnePlus. Reddit and Twitter users seen the same issue with the latest version. It doesn't seem to be device dependent, which it wasn't. Whatever the cause of the problem may be, it is safe to say that you should avoid the update at all costs. All this stuff doesn't matter now because they fixed it. That was it. It was like crashing. I had to go back and use the OnePlus messaging app, which I don't like. But they did fix it now, so I'm good. And they haven't changed anything yet, so I don't even know why they pushed out whatever that was making everything crash, because it was unnecessary.
Let me tell you, I was telling Will, it just the minute you open it, boom, it was like, well, nope.
So you saw this exact message, right?
What?
Well,
real fast. It like popped up and then closed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, and then I had to live on the OnePlus myself, the OnePlus messaging app, and then that's when you realize, oh my God, what a difference for a messaging app.
Yeah,
it was.
I like dark mode, but OnePlus's app is just really, I don't like it at all.
Very bare bones.
Yeah.
So I just look everything. Yeah, it's working good now. So.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Well, let me do my farewell to Wear OS.
Okay.
Hold on, let me open up the link here.
I'm trying to get the stupid thing though.
We gonna have a funeral?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna have. What do you call it? What's his name called?
Easy.
Yeah, Easy's funeral. Yeah.
Do any of you guys have a Wear OS device? Because I've got 4 of them.
Oh, I don't have any more. Thank God I jumped off that train.
Well, ever since you made me buy the Apple Watch, I never used them. But
that train was crashing everywhere, and I was hanging on, but nah. Nope.
So the story goes, according to rumors stemming from WinFuture, there is a new Wear OS chipset in the works. The alleged process could be known as the Qualcomm Snapdragon Wear 429 and would follow up to the Snapdragon Wear 3100.
Which is
the report state. Yeah, the report states that the Wear 429 would be a modified version of the Snapdragon 429 chipset, which is already in use in mid-range smartphones such as the Nokia 3.2. Since the chipset is powerful enough to run a smartphone, it would be significant. I'm sorry, I was distracted. Be a significant step up from Wear 3100, which is a small upgrade over the years the old. Thank you. Snapdragon Wear 2100.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? You reminded me of Yogi Berra. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I don't know if it's a compliment or
it was a little of both.
Okay. The Qualcomm Snapdragon Wear 429 allegedly could support the Core Cortex A35 cores with 64-bit computing. According to the rumors, the Wear 429 is getting tested with 1 gig of RAM and 8 gigs of internal storage, which is roughly double what the Wear OS watches can handle.
Exactly.
Even today, most Wear OS watches use Wear 2100 chipsets, which first debuted in 2016. The Fossil Sport is one of the few Wear OS devices that running the 3100 chipset, and its performance is still laggy when in comparison to a non-Wear OS device, especially in the reigning champ of wearables, the Apple Watch.
That's true.
According to WinFuture, the Wear 429 chipset won't land until 2020. Now, here we go.
Yeah, this is where it gets serious.
Yeah, it's too little, too late. This begs the question: if Qualcomm Snapdragon 429 chipset is really the real and actually a major upgrade for wearables, will it be too late to save Wear OS? When it finally arrives, by now, most people who actually own or have owned Wear OS likely associated the platform with slow and buggy experiences. And those who haven't used a Wear OS device probably will unlikely switch, and they will actually already been locked into another platform like Apple Watch.
Exactly.
That's my added on. Just like last year, there were rumors swirling that the Pixel could launch with Google could launch something like a Pixel Watch this year.
Theoretically.
Thank you. I'm getting dry mouth. Oh man. See, this could help Wear OS get out of the mess it's in, but Pixel Watch would still launch with a 3100 processor if it lands this year, unless that watch is absolutely mind-blowing on that chipset. It only hurt Google's chances at keep Wear OS relevant. However, if Google or any other company waits for the Wear 429 chipset to be ready in 2020, it will have been so long that it might be devastating for Wear OS. Long story short, there's no easy answer to this problem. It's good news that Qualcomm is working on a new processor and hasn't abandoned Wear OS, but the operating system is in dire straits at the moment and needs a solution here and now, not 2020.
So there's only one tune that fits this article. Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah.
Yeah, because it's like how I called it was, is it too little, too late, or how I call it? Last gasp.
Yeah, it
really is.
Probably is, because even somebody like me who owns 3 Wear OS watches, and I love them until Will got me on the Apple Watch. I don't even touch the other watches anymore.
I mean, you said it yourself, George, right there. That ever since you got this,
Yeah.
I mean, the other ones were nicer. You were happy, but in reality, this is the gold standard.
It was like going from the minor leagues to the major leagues.
The problem with Wear OS is it's clunky. It's terrible. It's slow.
And look, again, Google doesn't push those. They actually took it from the store years back.
Yes,
2 years ago, and put it in something else. You got to go to Amazon. I mean, you don't. You know, they
because Google never had no hardware. Google, honestly, they should have never even had it in their store. They should have just let Motorola have their own.
That's true, because they didn't even start dealing with hardware until after that.
They didn't even have a device for you to buy that was a Google branded. So what's the point?
Exactly.
Google Wear OS should have been nice, but Google, Google does what Google does. There's 50 different Wear OS watches you can buy.
I quickly associated this whole thing with Wear OS. This is another. Here we go. First, the tablet's going to die. The tablet's dying or dead, and right. I see the watch dying. I don't see the.
Well, Gary Brown is saying Wear OS has been dead since the Moto 360, and I loved my Moto 360 for a long time.
I kind of agree.
What? Amazon wouldn't take his EBT card. Gary Brown is crazy. He said he knows a guy who was trying to buy a smartwatch, but Amazon wouldn't take his EBT card. Oh, his girl's EBT card. It wasn't even his card. Jeez. He got to sell that and get some money for it.
Yeah.
Then go back and buy it. But tell him, Gary, don't even buy no smartwatch. Google, I hope they don't come out with a Pixel kind of smartwatch now. Because
I agree with the article.
You know what?
They come out with it this year, it's ridiculous because they still have no processor.
I hope they do come out with it, George, because if they do, in December, Google will be giving away the watch with the phone.
Or with a Google Home or something.
And a Google Home.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a shame, though, because there's nothing that you can use with Android. Like, to me, the best watch that they had, the Huawei watch, the first one was good. Samsung was, to me, the best alternative with the Gear S3 because you had Samsung Pay on it. But then Samsung Pay started getting taken out of their watch.
Yeah.
That was the best combination because you could have tap to pay with your phone, and if it didn't work, you could still use the MST on the Gear watch to pay. Right. So that was good.
But I did like my Zenfone, my Asus Zenfone watch, but that was all before I ever got an Apple Watch.
But George, this was my thing. What did you like about it? Like there was never no reason to buy
the biggest thing I liked about it was the notifications. I used to be able to sit in a meeting and I could get my notifications and see them, but it didn't bother anybody.
I guess I asked it the wrong way. Like you said, you have like 4 of them. What's the difference?
Well, actually 3. I have 3 of them and 2 Fitbits.
To me, there was no difference between like my Huawei watch was the same as my Moto 360.
To me, the Huawei watch and my Asus Zen watch were the same watch with 2 different looks. One was square, one was round. That was the only difference.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like. Once I had the Moto 360 first, then I got the Huawei watch. And after that, it was kind of like, I'm not even going to try the Zen watch. Like they would say like, oh, this one is better and I'm like, what's the point? It's still running that trash software.
Right. That's the problem. The software is the problem.
Is the software or how about the chipset though too? Do you think the chipset
the chipset being part of the software?
I think the chipset was terrible because they knew nobody was buying it. What was the point of even making it better when nobody's buying it?
But Qualcomm did go from the 2100 to the 3100, so they were trying to make it better.
Too late.
Too late. I think it is too late.
The original, Mike, if you can find the original Huawei watch for cheap, and you probably can't because that one looks so nice. And it had a speaker. It had a speaker on it where you could take calls.
Talk to my brother.
Well, that was a nice thing about the ZTE Quartz because you could make calls on it and receive calls on it. That was a nice thing about that.
And that was the other thing. What'd you say? Talk to your brother. That was the other thing. The Android Wear it was fragmented like the phones because some of them
Android always is.
Yeah, some of them had speakers and some of them had this and some of them was dumb. There was no thing where you knew if I buy any Android Wear watch, I'm going to get this, and this, or you wouldn't get NFC on some of them. Some of them couldn't track your heart rate. It was, yeah, they were a mess, man.
Gary Brown says Pixel 4 XL plus Pixel Watch, $899.
Yeah.
Could be.
It should be, and you should get a free Nest Home Max Hub, whatever they're calling it now. Because that one George got, I see that one for sale all the time now. The regular
I
hub,
saw a sale for it today too.
$60, $70.
I love that thing.
Always on sale. You know, Google wants to spy on us and listen to our conversations with Google
And
Home.
of course, we all know Amazon would never do that.
No,
Yeah.
no, oh no.
Until one day you're sitting there and your Amazon Echo's laughing at you.
Because George said a bad pun. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
if it's laughing at me, obviously it appreciated what I said.
Yeah. All right, what's the next
wait,
one?
wait, I just got. I'm here just cruising. I went to Facebook to go post something, and we're talking about Fosse, and here it is, an ad on Facebook.
For what?
Second for Fosse watches, smartwatches.
See?
Fossil.
It's listening to you.
Fossil.
It's listening.
That's
Google's
crazy.
listening.
That's not Google. It's Facebook. It has to be
No,
Facebook.
no, it's not. Mike, you don't remember that there was a video, I think I sent it to y'all, where the guy was showing you, he was doing a stream, and that was one of the things. They told him, they said, it's listening because you're doing the stream, and Chrome is listening to the stream and sending it, that's what it's the stream. If you turn off the stream and talk, it's not listening. But if you have a stream going or anything where it can listen, it's just like if you search for something, it follows you. Yeah, you got to Google it. I mean, go on YouTube and search for it.
Yeah,
this guy did all these videos on it.
I think it's got to be Facebook here because half the stuff that you touch on Facebook, boom, you start getting ads all over.
Mike, what are you on? Are you on Chrome?
Yeah, I am.
It's Chrome. It's Google. You didn't type nothing in.
No.
Yeah, it's listening to you.
I have a point because when I look at Facebook, it's usually on Chrome. Well, no, even stuff I look at Facebook on my phone.
That's nuts.
It's following you, man. It's following you. Google's spying on you.
I went there, like I said, I'm on Facebook. I wanted to post something about the stream, and I'm like, I scroll down, I'm like,
it's going to show you all kind of. The guy in the video, he was like talking to. He was talking before it, and he was talking about dogs, and he was like, if I was ever going to get an animal, I'd get a dog or whatever. And as soon as he opened his page, the second page he went to had dog food and all kind. Yeah, and that's what that was the thing they told him to change.
I'm picturing the guy opening up a web browser and said, "What up, dog?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to send it to you again when I find it, Mike.
Okay.
He did like 5 videos on it. It was crazy. And the only way he could get it not to do it was he couldn't be streaming. He couldn't be live streaming and talking.
Larry Brown said I turned off my web and activity, and now none of my Google Home stuff don't work.
Google got dumb. Yeah.
Wow.
They can listen to anything I say. I don't care.
Oh, wow. I can't get over that. That was something. I'm like, it just showed up. Like, are you kidding me?
Now, I'm going to try it, Mike. I'm going to go to CNN and see if anything pops up for me.
All right. Well,
all right. Well, what's next?
Yeah,
it's up to y'all. We got a couple left. We got AT&T's thing, Qualcomm.
Right, you're the next one reading, so.
All right, let me see.
No, I'm the next one reading. I forgot.
We got AT&T. Oh, and then we got the one for Gary about the Apple Watch. I can't believe I forgot to put that in there.
About the Apple Watch. I don't have that.
No. I got it because Gary talked about it in the chat, so I went and looked it up.
Oh, okay.
I found
all right.
an article.
So what do you want to do? You're in charge here.
All right, I'll do the Apple Watch one. That should be quick. I'm on the verge, but it's probably all over. Apple Watch vulnerability. Yeah, it's probably everywhere. Forces Apple to disable the walkie-talkie. Then it shows in the bottom. There's no evidence the vulnerability was ever exploited. Yeah, right. The Apple Watch walkie-talkie app has been disabled after Apple found a vulnerability that could let people listen in on other iPhones. The company tells TechCrunch. Apple isn't aware of the vulnerability having been used and hasn't provided any details on how it works beyond saying that specific conditions and sequences of events are required to exploit it. Here's Apple's statement. We were just made aware of a vulnerability related to the walkie-talkie app on the Apple Watch and have disabled the function as we quickly fixed the issue. We apologize to our customers for the inconvenience and will restore the functionality as soon as possible. Although we are not aware of any use of the vulnerability against a customer in specific conditions and sequences of events are required to exploit it. We take the security and privacy of our customers extremely seriously. We concluded that disabling the app was the right course of action, as this bug could allow someone to listen through another customer's Apple Watch without consent. We
No,
apologize for
iPhone
the
without
issue.
consent.
Oh, uncover. Oh, okay, yeah. Walkie Talkie is an Apple Watch app that offers push-to-talk calls through a tweaked form of FaceTime audio. It was added to the Apple Watch with last year's release of watchOS 5. The app itself is still installed on users' watches, but calls won't go through. This is the second time this year Apple has had to disable a FaceTime calling feature. In January, a vulnerability was discovered in the new group calling functionality that allowed people to listen in on devices before a call was picked up. Apple was slow to respond to the bug, which was reported to the company the week before it got wider attention. It looks like Apple has been able to get out ahead of this issue this time around. However, the timing is notable for another reason. Just yesterday, Apple took decisive action to remove Zoom's web server software from Macs after the video teleconferencing app had a major vulnerability bug of its own discovered. I never really use Walkie Talkie, but
yes, you
of
did.
course,
You made me.
I know. I'm
use
saying I used it with y'all. I'm saying I don't really use it after that.
You
but
exposed me.
But the problem with it was, and they should have knew it. It's FaceTime. The Walkie Talkie app is just a FaceTime audio call. So if this happened before, they should have been checking into that. But that's probably why that's probably why they said it hasn't been exploited, because nobody, I'm sure, uses it. I really doubt people use it. I doubt it.
But yeah, I don't think so either.
I think it was just something for, it looks cool when you push the button and talk to your watch. So you kind of, like Mike said, what'd you say, Dick Tracy?
Dick Tracy calling Go Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are people going to call Kit? Yeah, so.
Hey, I don't mean to take this off from the story that you're just reading, but did anybody hear from EC Computer Solutions?
We may hear from him.
Well, he's down
because of the storm.
Yeah,
well, the storm doesn't really hit till tomorrow, doesn't it? Yeah, he's in New Orleans, I know.
Oh, okay. I messaged him and he hasn't responded. I was just wondering. The storm didn't hit yet? Is that
what I heard last night? Was that this brunt of the storm was supposed to hit on Saturday? That's what I heard. But I've been working all day today, so I don't know.
And did I see the path heading up north, towards you eventually?
Right. Well, you know how many miles it has to cover to get from there to here? I'm not worried about it.
Well, that's a day's drive for you.
Well, for me it is, yeah, but it's a long way for us. Listen, when I moved to Orlando, I said, where's the safest place to live in Florida? Oh, in the middle. Well, when Charlie hit in 2004, it hit the coast doing 150 miles an hour. Time it got to Orlando, it was doing 90 miles an hour. So I was right. Yeah, we had to replace our roof and our fence, but I'd rather deal with a 90 mile an hour wind than 150 mile an hour.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, it's further from the Gulf to here than it is to get 60 miles from the coast to Orlando. So I'm not worried about it. And even since we've lived here, there's been a couple of storms, one big one. When Katrina hit, that came up here, but it wasn't much when it got up here.
No. Just a lot of rain for you then.
Yeah, just rain. That's all. So that's one of the cool things about living in Tennessee. We're not near any water. No way. You got to cross hundreds and hundreds of miles to get anywhere in Tennessee, unless you're on the Mississippi, which is only Memphis.
Gotcha.
And Memphis is 6.5 hours from here. So. Even though I'm still going to go to Graceland one of these days.
You haven't been there?
I haven't been to Graceland yet. I haven't been to Memphis once so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. In all your travels, all we were shuttling cars and all, you haven't been to...
No. We rarely get to drive with Enterprise 6 hours away. We've driven to Asheville a couple of times. I think the furthest I've driven in the 3 years plus that I've worked at Enterprise is probably in distance, probably about 200 miles out. That's about as far as I've ever been. Now, if they told me to take a car to California and get it there in 2 days, I would do that. You can count on that.
Oh God.
The storm is supposed to pass by Memphis. I'm
Yeah,
looking at the
Memphis, yeah, Memphis is right on the Mississippi. That makes sense.
I just saw Gary Brent. I'd say Apple Watch. Now, how are they going to call Kit?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I
didn't
want
see that.
Kit. I always wanted Kit.
Yeah.
You know, he can even call me Michael if he wants to. Yeah, Kit's perfect for you. He'll just say Michael like he always says. You know.
All right. I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask that. I didn't know. I didn't know it was that far away. I thought it was hitting already.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I heard yesterday. I don't know. Well, you guys go on to the next story. I will go see what I see as far as where it is. How about that?
All right, Mike,
All
you
right.
got it. The last one is
wait a minute.
AT&T in the robocalls.
Oh, AT&T. You know that it's
They're doing something good for a change.
Right. That's true. Let me see. Let me open this up real quick. Hold on. AT&T becomes the official becomes first major wireless carrier to automatically block spam calls.
Yay!
Yeah.
Will gets a direct benefit here.
Yeah. AT&T customers could soon be free of having to deal with annoying spam calls, or at least that's AT&T's plan. On Tuesday, AT&T became the first major wireless carrier to automatically block robocalls for its customers. I want to know how they know it's a robocall. How would they know? Because their phone number is always rotating.
Yeah, but I get a lot of calls where it says likely spam.
Yeah, it tells you likely spam. Yeah. But you know, T-Mobile has that, but you have to pay.
Really?
I think everybody else, because I know I've seen on my mom's thing before.
No,
you have to. I think you have to turn it on. I think they charge you. I think they charge you for it.
It's a premium. That's a premium service. I think you still get it for free using the app. The spam blocker.
Using what app?
I'll look. I'll read
you
this.
You have to use an app to block the call. So that means that's, it's supposed to just do it. Like, I think if you turn it on, I'm pretty sure I saw on T-Mobile, it charges you. Like, there's a fee.
But I'll read on. The free service comes after a June federal communications ruling that allows phone service providers to offer call blocking on a opt-out basis. AT&T owns Warner Media, a parent company of CNN, which is where the story comes from. The commissioner recent actions builds on a year-long effort to enable broader. This damn pop-up from CNN. It just popped up and it's covered all the.
R. Kelly was just arrested. Was that the pop-up?
No, it was telling me about if you want to subscribe to CNN or something. AT&T remains committed on working with our government and industry partners in the ongoing battle against unwanted and illegal robocalls. Spam calls are an annoyance for just about everyone with cell phones. At times, they are illegal scams. They can be difficult to detect because often from the receiver's own area code, more than 4.3 billion robocalls. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Both legal and illegal were placed last month, according to industry data. Robocall blocking uses algorithms and networks scanning to identify unwanted calls, similar to how email provides scans for spam messages. That's interesting. AT&T service will attempt to block fraudulent calls and alert customers when a call may be spam. It will become available on all new lines and added in in the coming months to existing customers' lines. Those customers will be notified by text when the service is active. The company already the company already provided call blocking to its mobile customers who download the AT&T Call Protect app or opted in via their account settings. Landline customers also able to opt in. Now, AT&T customers will have to opt out via their account settings if they don't wish to have their calls blocked. Other carriers. What's that, George?
I said, who wouldn't want the calls blocked?
Yeah. No, wait a minute. Never mind. I'll stop. I could say other carriers often offer similar options through AT&T. AT&T is so far the only to automatically block calls. T-Mobile provides an automatic scam call alerts, which I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I get that too.
I get that. I don't get many or hardly at all on the iPhone. But this one, man, this thing's constantly ringing and says scam likely.
Yeah, it does seem like they key on certain phone numbers.
Right.
I some days I get it on one phone number and not the other one at all.
Provide automatic scam call alerts, and customers can opt in to block those calls for free. Verizon service works essentially the same way. Sprint offers a caller ID service, which it says may identify spam calls for $2.99 a month.
So Sprint is the one who charges, not T-Mobile. T-Mobile does it for free.
Yeah. See, I thought I get warnings on here, but they still get through. And I thought I saw.
Yeah, well, according to this, you have to opt in to block those calls. It'll give you the warning, but you have to opt in to block those calls, which I haven't bothered to do.
No, I didn't. Yeah. Let's see here. There was an app I saw. T-Mobile ID. Oh, that's. I'm sorry, guys. I thought.
It's different, isn't it?
Stop unwanted calls from scammers, telemarketers, and other questionable callers. This is the. Here, let me go back. Here.
That's right, Gary.
That's what I don't know if you can see it, but I'm reading this. Now it doesn't say. Identify and block likely scam calls, identify and block unwanted callers, identify and send call categories to your voicemail. So
you're saying we have to download an app to do it? I didn't get that impression from the article.
Yeah.
No, well, they're saying they're going to, currently, like AT&T has an app, and I think T-Mobile has one too, but right. AT&T is going to roll it out where it's just going to automatically do it. I think, Mike, if you go to your T-Mobile account, and look at your features, I think if you turn it on, you have to pay. If you want to do what AT&T is about to do.
Not according to this article.
Mike, go to your T-Mobile account and look at your features and see if you have it on there. I'm pretty sure I've seen it listed where it says block spam calls, but you have to pay. Unless I'm thinking of something else, but I thought it was that.
No, I'm trying this app out. I'm going to try. I've seen this app before on some other phones. I'm trying it out. I'm going to see. So,
make sure you give it permission to access your dialer.
It says authenticating right now. So
and then you'll get all kind of ads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All these T-Mobile ads. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
well, I think we got everything.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea that the robocalls are pretty
out of control.
Bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And getting worse all the time, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, I got it on here. Whoa! Look at this. All right, this is on my iPhone, and I have the app. I have the ID app, and I just all activity. Look at.
I know you have to talk so we can see it.
It shows you all
yeah. It shows
you all the spam.
All the spam. I got one at 8:52.
Okay.
So in the middle of the stream, my phone didn't ring. It blocked the call because I have this app on my phone.
Cool. And you didn't even know you had the app on your phone.
No, I know. I put this on the iPhone.
Okay.
Because I was trying it out, and it just was. That's neat. Okay. Block numbers could be okay. Send a voicemail. Oh wow. Okay, my bad. And it doesn't mention about any kind of costs. Will.
Yeah, see, that's different. I think it's different, but that's an app. I'm pretty sure it's the T-Mobile.
Yeah, but if you get, I rather use this and get it for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, as long as it works.
I wonder if Simple Mobile's got one, or it beams a T-Mobile. I wonder if Simple Mobile's would work. The T-Mobile app.
T-Mobile's won't work because that's like when I tried to use the visual voicemail, it didn't work.
No.
Nope. It says it can't authenticate.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, anything else, guys? What else is going on?
I think that's it as far as I know.
I think we got everything. Let me see. I see the Samsung new Watch Active looks nice. They went kind of Apple style. They have a button and then they have two buttons. There's no digital crown no more. I mean, digital crown. What's it called? Rotating bezel. Jeez,
rotating bezel.
Yeah, that was like their big selling point. So I guess now it's going to be all touch based.
And people hated it. People loved that rotating bezel. I remember.
Yeah, I know. And they're taking it away.
Gee, what a surprise.
Yeah. Anybody? Let me see. They got the new MacBooks just came out. Apple's really losing their mind. There's no kind of schedule with them anymore. Like they just released the new MacBooks. Then they're supposed to be redoing. They're making more iPads again. I don't know. It's kind of like you don't know when to buy with them anymore.
Let's talk about next week, guys, real quick. Will, you're going on vacation.
Oh, yeah, I'll be away. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not. It depends on if we come back.
But next week we're on your channel, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
I might be able to pop in, Mike. I might be able to pop in.
Oh, no. Stay on vacations. Just go. Just go.
Mike, did you see this? Facebook smacked with a record $5 billion fine.
No.
FTC over privacy violations.
Gee, what a surprise.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, what a surprise. Yeah, okay.
It's about
$5 billion settlement. Wow. Dwarfs the previous record penalty as Google paid $22.5 million to the FTC in 2012. Wow. That's crazy. They said that's 5 times what they paid to purchase Instagram 7 years ago.
How many times?
5 times as much as they paid for Instagram, yeah.
Jeez.
Let me see. In addition to the $5 billion, the settlement is expected to include privacy restrictions on how Facebook handles user privacy. Yeah, right. Facebook still does what they want.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what they always do.
Yeah, they got a nice hub here. I just seen on here. Hypercube automatically backs up your iPhone to USB or micro SD storage. That's
where you getting this from?
I'm on a 9 to 5 Mac.
Oh, okay.
It's like it looks like a little thumb drive. I guess you plug it into the bottom of your iPhone and then it backs it up. That's nice.
Oh, okay. You're on 9 to 5 Mac. Let's see what else. So what else? Anything else going on, guys? Anything big for the week? Okay, what's the name, bro? Big House Productions was asking. I told him no, I can't afford anything to go on Amazon. You guys eyeing up anything kind of like
for Prime Day? You mean
Prime Day for me every year is the same. I don't never go on there looking for nothing. If I was already gonna buy something and they had it on sale, but it's not. I don't just buy like TVs and stuff.
Yeah, and it would be the same for me. If I were really interested in a phone or something, if I could find it for a big discount on Prime Day, sure, I'd buy it. But I've never seen it yet. With something that I'm interested in a lot.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like I think it's good for impulse buyers.
Oh, let me give you. Well, I still have the page up. Tropical storm Barry strengthened Friday as it crawled northwest over the Gulf of Mexico with sustained winds of 65 miles an hour. Government officials and residents brace for impact from the first tropical storm that will make landfall in the U.S. this year. Tropical storm conditions will spread inland of Louisiana and Mississippi Friday night, so it's coming in. Additional strengthening of Barry is forecast prior to landfall Saturday morning when maximum sustained winds of 74 miles an hour or greater are detected. The storm will be classified as a hurricane. So it's predicted to come tomorrow morning, and Lord knows that could be 3 o'clock in the morning, who knows? But it's also predicted to land as a hurricane, so at least 74 miles an hour. So, because of how low they are, even winds as low as 74 miles an hour or 65 could be a big problem for them. And I thought I saw somewhere last night where they had already gotten about 9 inches of rain. So.
They were showing that some of the waterways are getting close to being already filled. Yeah,
exactly. 20, and they said if the Mississippi gets to 20 feet, it's overflowing, and it's nothing.
Overflowing the levees and dikes and all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sounds like they're probably in trouble just because of all the rain that this is going to bring.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So say a prayer for Easy and everybody else down there.
Yeah, I've been reaching out to him. That stuff is scary. I've gone through recently a few bad storms here. Yeah. And Will, think about it. How often have you heard tornado warnings here in South Jersey?
Yeah, no, we've been getting tornado warnings, flood warnings every day.
And how many tornadoes we've had? We've had 3.
Yeah,
I had never.
Did you see the one? Where was that at? They showed there was one that touched down. It was like a small one in
Mount Laurel. It was in Mount Laurel.
Was it Mount Laurel? Okay.
Yeah, it threw a car around like it was nothing.
It threw a car upside down or something. Yeah, flipped it over. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
But next week it's on my channel, and I guess are we going to wrap it up, guys?
Sounds right.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I just want. Go ahead, Will.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I just want.
You were about to say something good.
I am. No, all I'm saying is next week is on my channel, and I want to plug. I want to just take a moment, a shameless plug. Next Wednesday is a very very interesting video. What are you laughing at now?
Look at the
He's
chat.
laughing at you.
Look at the chat. Who's that? Show Cowboy Hat Man again.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Who's that?
Who said that?
Somebody I never heard of.
Somebody named the
They
Chad.
like your hat, George.
Okay.
Show
all right,
Cowboy
here I am.
Hat Man again.
Here I am in all my glory.
Oh, God.
So anyway, I'm going to be at. I'm going to be on. I got a good video coming on. I had a very interesting conversation with my son. For you all folks seeing my last video, I had the Xiaomi phone, which, as Will said, boy, you hated that phone.
Oh, and by the way, let me a comment on that video.
Yeah,
you got that video from Jay Will, who loved that phone, and I have that phone right back here, and I love that phone. So we disagree with you on
I told Mike, I said they're gonna kill you.
No, I love that phone.
Mike was like, it's boring.
Yeah, his main comment was boring. That's true.
It really was, and
Mike, I don't understand. What did you think it was? It's a stock Android phone.
I understand that,
stock Android is. Mike wanted chop the flashlight.
Yeah, I said that to you.
Mike was like, I can't chop to turn on the flashlight. This phone is trash.
All right, so Xiaomi, get on the case. Chop, okay?
Yeah. But through some things that went on, my son's Moto phone crapped out, and he was in a pinch, and I gave him that phone, and precipitated some conversations that him and I had a few days when I was taking him home from work. And I said, Michael, just like when we get together, the three of us before the show, and we say, stop talking, right? I said, Mike, stop talking. Wait a minute, just save your thoughts. We're going to continue this conversation. And I'm going to get with Adam, and we got together with Adam. We shot basically 10 questions to my son on his phone, and it's an interesting perspective. Again, talking about the average consumer. My son's a little more average, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but he knows. But there were certain things that he said that was very very interesting. So we're going to do a live stream. We're going to do a premiere. So Wednesday, I believe it's 7 o'clock. I'll tweet it out and Instagram it out more as it gets closer. So
And speaking of,
Wednesday.
since you brought up the Mi A2, is an article. The Mi A3 is about
saw
to
that.
come out, and says it's going to be a great deal. If
If they
there's
don't
a
have
phone
chopped
I'm interested
flashlight.
in getting, a budget phone I'm interested in getting, that's the phone.
Yeah.
If there's no chop for the flashlight, thumbs down.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I call myself a fanboy. All right.
I know. No, I
I'm-
understand what you're saying, though. I know.
So I was influenced. So
Yeah, Mike
And
thought
just
the
like
phone was
you-
just chopped liver, you know.
Just like you said in one of your videos, Mike. I think it was one of your videos. Moto does the notifications. Their thing is the best. Even though the new beta or whatever, Google's made it a little better, but nah, the way Moto used to do it was the best. With I forget what they called it. You know what I'm talking about, Mike? Moto display or whatever.
yeah.
And you can hold the thing down and show you can read it or whatever. That was the best way to do it. And they added some nice stuff, kind of like OnePlus. OnePlus should add chop for flashlight. I hate those drawn on the screen.
Well, you know what though?
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I feel that phone needed. They need to have that phone, that Xiaomi phone, as a North American version, so it can definitely get all the bands.
Well, it gets
Here.
all the bands for T-Mobile, but the Mi A1 got all the bands for T-Mobile, and so.
Well, wait till Wednesday. You'll find out. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Watch it. Watch.
It works fine for me.
All right. So, but yeah, that's all I got to say. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And take it away, George and Will.
All right, this is Mobile Geezer saying good night. You know, you can find me at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com is where my articles are, and you'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I put out probably 3 or 4 videos every week. So please come by and subscribe. And if you like to see a lot of camera comparisons, I'm probably the guy.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming through and watching. It's Friday. 3 more nights for me, then I'm off. Thank God. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Everybody stay safe. Hope everybody's out of the way of tornadoes and floods
God
and all
bless
that stuff that's coming.
Blessings to those in New Orleans. We have you in our prayers.
Yeah.
Hopefully Eric will pop up sooner or later with a stream or something, so we know.
Maybe he was smart because they were telling people to get out of there. Maybe he got out of there.
Yeah, I hope he did. I really do.
Yeah. But see y'all next week. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Good night, folks.
See you.